On May 5th, 2010, the S&P at one point was down 9.22%, and from this we got one of the greatest trading clips of all time here.
7 evens are trading here, guys. 96 halves trade. 96 evens trade. 94 evens are trading. 94 evens are trading here now, guys. Once again, 4 half offer, 4 even offer, 3 halves do trade. 93 evens are trading. 92 evens are trading here now, guys. 91 evens are trading. 89s are trading. 88 halves are trading. 87 evens are trading. 86 evens are trading. 85 evens are trading here now, guys. All the way down. Fours are trading here now, guys. 82 evens are trading. Paper comes in a big seller. 81 evens are trading here now, guys. 79s are trading. You got 79s trading here now. Once again, 78s are trading. 6s are trading. 76 evens are trading here now, guys. 75 evens are trading. 4 evens, 2 evens are trading. 72 evens just traded. Once again, guys, we are big time even bid here now, guys. 72 even offer. 68 evens are trading. Guys, 70 even bid here now. Once again, 70 evens trade. 71 even.
And on days like that where things get crazy for indices, things tend to get even crazier for set individual stocks, such as Procter & Gamble, which perhaps gave Jim Cramer one of his best calls of all time.
P&G is now down 25%.
Oh, well, that's true. If that stock is there, you just go and buy it. It can't be there. That is not a real price.
That stock was down 2%. All right, this is an unprecedented.
Just go buy Procter & Gamble. They're poor.
Is there a hedge fund that is liquidating? Is there a distressed seller?
Anything else that's happened?
A 49.25 bid for 50,000 Procter if I were at my hedge fund.
They were just taking that. I mean, that's an incredible. That name. Nothing has changed for Procter & Gamble in the past 4 minutes.
When I looked at it, it was a 61. I'm not that interested in it. It's at 47. Well, that's a different security entirely. So what you have to do, though, you have to use limit orders because Procter just jumped 7 points that I said I liked it at 49.
Obviously, in hindsight, it's easy to say that if something's down 30%, you're going to just go and buy it. But if you'd even put a small portion of your funds into it a day or two prior, you're now down 40%, bleeding and concerned. Are you really there mentally to do that? Maybe. But anyone on leverage obviously just gets completely eviscerated. And you can only imagine today how something like this would work with something like 0DTE options, because this occurred on a Wednesday. They didn't have options that expired on that day. Today, if it did happen, we would have. Every option on the book under the market would have gone from 5 cents to $100. I don't even know what happens at that point. Back then, the Dow dropped 1,000 points. Today, that would be like it dropping 4,000. Things don't get much crazier. And of course, you're wondering, why did this happen? What was the inherent reason behind it? Was there a massive news drop or something like that? Sort of. Obviously, there are catalysts for these things, but you don't know how much of that is real and how much you're just trying to find an answer after the fact. As many say, and as I like to say, narrative follows price. The cited reason for this, it was due to concerns regarding the financial situation in Greece and the upcoming elections in the UK. Obviously, I would have to disagree. Those things largely were known events. It's not like we don't know that there's going to be an election at some point and that the situation in Greece is poor. Does that really justify a 10% drop in the S&P? Probably not, but this is the reason that they cite, or that a lot of people do cite. There's also the idea that it was a fat finger error, where it says here a single selling order of an enormously large amount of E-mini contracts and subsequent aggressive selling orders by high-frequency algorithms triggered the insane decline. Some say it was some guy in the UK who got arrested for spoofing, which is putting orders in with the intention of covering them to essentially mess with market makers. When they halted trading for a brief moment, that was the low. The more interesting part of this is, of course, the single player idea that one person was responsible for a lot of it, who, through the use of spoofing algorithms, placed orders for thousands of futures contracts, which he planned on canceling later, orders mounting to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of bets that the market would decline, that were replaced or modified 19,000 times. And it says that these are now banned. Again, I think it's probably as simple as people looking for rationale after the fact, because something just happened to happen and we have to find a reason. But this would be the funniest reason if it was truly the reason. But they did say that it was at least significantly responsible for order imbalances, so maybe it was him. As Sam Altman would say, you can just do things. Maybe he just did a thing. Now, if something like this were to happen today, what would be the ramifications and what would it look like? And would there be anything different that would also be negatively affected? If it did happen today, the move would look something like this, a drop of 4,200 points in the Dow, but there are some interesting caveats to additional market factors that would also likely occur. For instance, everyone remembers Volmageddon in 2018. This occurred because VIX futures, for the most part, went up around 100% and bankrupted some inverse VIX funds. some that were getting an absurd amount of assets under management because it had been working so well for so long. And if you look what happened on the VIX in 2018, it went up over 100%, which of course would send an inverse ETF down over 100%, which obviously can't happen. It also interestingly broke some long leverage funds, though those were ETNs, not ETFs, which is important to note. And if we look back at 2010 here, we got very close to a similar situation, up 70%. Now, of course, it started at a VIX of 24, so a move of 16 didn't reach 100%. However, the VIX has been a lot lower recently, here at 17. So if you got that move now up to that price, you would exceed that 100% threshold, and 1x inverse VIX ETFs would get absolutely throttled. Now, of course, they have ways of protection now, with SVIX, for instance, holding VIX call options against their VIX short positions to ensure that this specific case scenario doesn't happen. However, they would still get absolutely throttled. Another thing is, of course, ODT option chains. How would they react? For instance, on a day like FOMC, when the market dropped just 3%, there were plenty of options that went from fractions of a dollar to well beyond $10 or $20, seeing returns of in excess of thousands of percentages. And that was on a day with high implied volatility due to FOMC. If you have that out of the gates with nothing, you're getting an absurd amount of options going from 5 cents into the $10, $20 range. Absurd returns. With all of these options, how does the order book respond? How illiquid does the market get? And is there ever the absurd tail case that it sort of self-fulfills to a worse situation? Who knows? It hasn't happened. But if it does in modern day option markets, I hope we get another video like the first one on here. If you'd like to know specifically more about that one man's story, if you believe that is the route that caused this decline, as it may be, this is a great video to watch. I don't have a great deal to talk about on this topic. I think it's just one of those things that you must understand can happen again, and if it does, a lot of things may be different this time around in how the market responds. But as always, markets generally tend to rhyme as well, so there'll be lots of similarities too. Of course, you want to be on the buying end if anything crazy happens, and you always want to have something to buy with if it does. But that's about it. Like, subscribe. See you next time.